Imagine this, losing over $100 million, growing up with nothing, with this incredible single mom who raised 6 kids, worked 2 jobs. I always tell, my mom didn't teach me. I wasn't taught. I caught the lessons by watching her work 2 jobs, pack my dinner in a paper bag in between 2nd grade teaching and filling up turnstiles at convenience stores. So I had to go tell my mom that I had lost everything, including the only reason I wanted to be rich was to buy her a house, and I didn't take my name off of her title. So they foreclosed on her house and she had to move. When I went to her door, I broke down in tears and I couldn't talk. And my mom's like, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" And I finally got it out like a sobbing 5-year-old. "Mom, I lost everything, including your house. You need to move." And she smirked at me. She said, "Oh, you need money." "No, Mom, I don't think you heard me. I lost your home. Are you okay?" "No, Mom, I lost your home. You need to move." No, I heard you. "How can I help you, baby?" I said, "Mom, I don't know why I'm being punished." And then I said it to her, "Mom, I don't believe in God." And my mom's religious. My mom raised me to have faith. She smirked again, and she simply said to me, "Oh, son, you believe in God. You just believe in the wrong God."
Welcome to the Dad Nation podcast, the place where high-performing men are empowered to reclaim their home, their health, and their happiness while enhancing their career success. You see, in a world full of noise, burnout, and mediocrity, we believe what's missing is courageous and compassionate leadership in the home, because when the dad gets better, the whole family wins. You see, this isn't just a podcast. It's a movement of men who refuse to settle for less in our families, our focus, and our future. We are curse breakers and we are legacy makers. And I'm your host, Mitchell Osman, and I'm honored that you have chosen to invest your most valuable asset, which is your time, with me today. Now let's get into it. Welcome to the Dad Nation podcast, David. So glad to have you on the show today. I've been following you for quite some time and just love your mission, as we were just chatting about before we hit record. But hey, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me, because it's aligned with my mission to empower over 1 billion people to be happy by teaching them how to live in abundance, to make a lot of money, to help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's the dream.
It's a good dream.
Yeah, it's a good dream, man, which I'd love to chat a little bit more about as we get into the conversation. But so a lot of guys who listen to this show wrestle with this idea of, the professional success and personal success. A lot of people think you can't have it all. You can't have a great career, great income, and also be at your kids' soccer games. We talk a lot about that. This idea of creating a legacy at home versus a legacy in business. And I, for one, believe that you can have it all. Maybe I'm a forever optimist, but I do think that you can be successful in all areas. And what I'd love to ask you, David, is that because you built a massive professional legacy and you've mentored countless leaders, but how do you define legacy at home, and how do you keep from sacrificing one for the other? Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, first of all, you can't think in the terms of sacrifice, right? There is no sacrifice. There's an investment. And what we do is we invest our intention by understanding time. Now, the things I'm going to talk about are not Dave Meltzer when he's 20, 30, 40, or even 50. I'm 57 now, and I have great clarity. And I have to be honest, I have it all. I have it all. I have an extremely successful professional career and legacy, an extremely successful legacy at home. And it starts with understanding time and understanding the physics, quantum physics, and metaphysics of time. Let me explain what I'm talking about when we talk about applying intention. When I realized that 2 minutes a day are worth 2 hours on a Saturday, 2 minutes of definiteness of purpose, 2 minutes of intention of doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing, aligned with what I want to get out of this particular activity or better. Once I realized that, things got really easy, but also I realized that instead of focusing on getting things, achieving things, it was already there. So there's this lesson of wisdom and faith that I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am worthy. I just started focusing in on the last 7 years in particular. What was I doing to interfere with it? And so if people don't believe that 2 minutes a day is worth 2 hours on a Saturday, just think about your kid taking Spanish. Have you ever met a kid who studies Spanish 15 minutes a day, 7 days a week with intention and doesn't get an A? There's no such thing. But how many kids are like me that studied 15 hours on Sunday and they don't get an A on Monday on the test? This is applicable to everything. Now, so the first rule is the rule of time. The second is the rule of non-negotiables, because it's the circumstances, it's the response to the reaction of fear that causes the most interference. So what I do for half of my life is I make sure that no matter what circumstances arise, that I'm going to be intentional about that powerful harmony that I am after. So what do? Number one non-negotiable is surprising to most people. And it's aligned with what my objectives are. But the number one non-negotiable I have is a minimum of 7 hours a day on sleep. I have a sleep coach. I am mentored for 18 years in sleep. Sleep is for recovery and access of information to assist me with awareness to make better choices each and every day. Because as Jim Quick, my dear friend, always tells me, Dave, life exists between B and D. It exists in the C, the choices you make. And I make intentional choices by not allowing circumstances to get in my way. So I spend a minimum of 7 hours, regardless of the weather, the interest rates, delays, all the circumstances, God laughing at me. So a minimum of 7 hours a day on my sleep, then a minimum of an hour on my health. And I make sure that I cover what God tells me is most important about my health, because my health is determinative upon me breathing, my heart beating. The human experience is clearly defined. It starts when your heart starts. It stops when your heart stops. That's the human experience. Everything else can fail, but the heart fails, it's over, baby. So what I want you to do is think about what God says. You need to sleep or else you're going to die. You need to breathe or else you're going to die. Eat, drink, move. So I focus my health routine a minute a day on what God tells me is most important to keep me breathing well. So I live a long, healthy, wealthy existence. Now, here's the trick. This is where the core of the question lies. I spend a minimum of an hour a day on my family. A minimum of an hour a day, no matter what the circumstances, delays, weather, interest rates, arguments, I don't care. You're going to get my whole family, my 4 kids, my wife, my mom, whoever it is, a minimum of an hour a day every single day. My mom's passed. I still text her every day, tell her I'm happy, I'm healthy, I love her and appreciate her. I told her that for 18 years every day of my life, creating more ease in our relationship. And I tell my kids every day, I'm proud of you, I love you, and I always have your back. Whenever they discuss activities, I ask them, did you do your best? Did you learn lessons? Did you have fun? That's all I care. I don't care what you do, but I want you to do your best, have fun, and learn lessons. So all of these things equate to about 12 hours when I add in the finance, I add in faith, the study of time and relativity. Now, 12 hours of my awake time every day is doing whatever I want according to the circumstances. But believe it or not, 90% of what people are after, that unbelievable success, harmony, passion, purpose, and profitability, comes from having 12 hours of non-negotiable behavior. And the majority of them, usually 8 hours of the 12, is sleeping. So that's what I teach to create this harmony of success. The legacy that I want to leave is to empower not only people, but my family, to empower others to be happy.
Wow. I love that. You know, we actually did a big episode about that a couple of weeks ago on the power of sleep and the importance of what happens both in your physical body, but in your subconscious mind as you sleep. It's a powerful episode. So I'm happy to hear you say that. So rule of time, rule of negotiables. You do 7 hours of sleep minimum, 1 hour or 1 hour a day on your health, and 1 hour a day on your
Minimum.
family. A
Yeah,
minimum. Yeah.
minimum. Yeah, because the other 12 hours I could add an extra 6 hours to family, extra 2 hours to health, but it's my choice. It's the choices according to the circumstances. The non-negotiables, no matter what, I'm getting it done every day. Now I am a human being, by the way, so I do miss days. I make mistakes, but I never do it twice in a row. One time it's an exemption, twice it's the beginning of a new habit I don't want.
That's good. I love that. I love that. And thank you for sharing that, because I think a lot of my listeners, might want to make some excuses about, well, I don't have the time. But if you're hearing from David himself, this guy has had a very busy life and has every reason to make that same excuse. And I hear you not making any excuses, and you're saying, no, these are my non-negotiables. It is important to be a person of principle. And so if you can make the time for it, we can all make the time for it.
Yeah, and be honest. Look, I do VIP dinners, speeches, interviews, TV shows, movies. I leave the set. And people are like, whoa, where are you going? I promised my son I'd be at his football game. I get a standing ovation when I leave because it reminds people it's okay. It's okay to tell people what's important to you and to go ahead and act on what's important to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't want to work with people that don't appreciate that I want to be with my family more than them.
Yeah. That's so good. I get that, from some of my clients as well. It's like, well, I can't leave early because the boss is going to think, or I can't, take that evening off because my employees are going to think blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, they will respect you more. They will admire your strength and the fact that you have these principles in place and that you're not willing to negotiate on them. Because I think deep down, especially us as men, we all have that desire, to protect, to provide, to preside. And so I love that. And it's clear that you're a person of conviction. I want to ask you a little bit about, I saw an Instagram post that you had just a few weeks ago about how you got to a certain point of your life and you lost everything. And then you got it all back, and then you're like, and that was so powerful. And for me, when I read that, I'm like, I need to get this guy on the show, because you've been transparent about losing everything, before, and then rebuilding your life, right? So I'm curious, what role did faith, did family, did resilience play in that whole turnaround, right? And how can dads who are facing these struggles, their own personal struggles, how can they begin their own comeback story?
Yeah, so imagine this. Losing over $100 million, growing up with nothing, with this incredible single mom who raised 6 kids, worked 2 jobs. I always tell my mom didn't teach me. I wasn't taught. I caught the lessons by watching her work 2 jobs, pack my dinner in a paper bag in between 2nd grade teaching and filling up turnstiles at convenience stores. So I had to go tell my mom that I had lost everything, including the only reason I wanted to be rich was to buy her a house. And I didn't take my name off of her title. So they foreclosed on her house and she had to move. When I went to her door, I could not speak. I broke down, as many probably would. They may not admit it, but I broke down in tears and I couldn't talk. And my mom's like, "What's the matter? Are you okay?" My wife, Julie, is she okay? Are the kids? What's the matter? What's the matter? And I finally got it out like a sobbing 5-year-old. Mom, I lost everything, including your house. You need to move. And she smirked at me. She said, "Oh, you need money." "No, Mom, I don't think you heard me. I lost your home. Are you okay?" "No, Mom, I lost your home. You need to move." No, I heard you. "How can I help you, baby?" I said, "Mom, I don't know why I'm being punished." Right? In my mind, I did everything I could, which wasn't true. I did everything I could for everyone else. Why would God punish me? And then I said it to her, "Mom, I don't believe in God." And my mom's religious. My mom raised me to have faith. She smirked again, and she simply said to me, "Oh, son, you believe in God. You just believe in the wrong God." And so I've always had faith, but I had it in the wrong place. And so everything in my comeback had to do with the simple faith of something bigger than me, this omniscient, all-powerful, infinite source that loves me, protects me, promotes me, and perfects me more than my mom. And so from that day on, if I was going to live by the values that I was taught to collaborate and be commanded by God, to work with God, command. He doesn't demand, he commands us. I work with God to live by my values, these ones that we were discussing earlier, and to, when no evidence, which happens every day to me, by the way, personally and professionally, there's no evidence I'm going to get to where I want to be or better, or worse, the evidence is contrary to where I want to be personally and professionally. I have faith. I seek wisdom from the people that are sitting in a situation that I want to be in, but I have faith that although I do not understand the evidence that is here today, the circumstances that are arising today, although none of it makes any sense to me, I have faith that I'm protected, promoted, loved, and perfected by something so powerful. How could I not get to where I want to be or better? So I continue on learning to love what I don't like or love about what I don't like or love. And even more importantly, learning to love what I don't like or love about what I love. And when you can do that, I promise you, you will enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of your potential, your God, your truth, even though there's no evidence or the evidence is contrary that you're ever going to get there.
Yeah, the power of faith is significant. I mean, I'm a person of faith myself, and was raised in the church, and my mother is a woman of faith and been a rock in her faith. And at times when I would say my faith wasn't my own, I was kind of raised on my mom's faith. When I didn't even have, I relied on hers, until I became mature and kind of my faith became my own. But man, you got two great sources. You had two great sources in your life: the power of God and the power of a praying mother. You know what I mean?
And now my wife. So
and
I
your
got
wife.
3. So I'm so blessed.
Yeah, I love that. If your marriage is feeling flat, if your marriage is feeling a little disconnected, maybe just a little routine lately, maybe you want more fire, more intimacy, more passion, I'm going to tell you about this tool that I believe is going to help thousands of men reignite the connection in their marriage again. And it's called the Spark Starter Kit. It's not some big course or some complex relationship program or a big time commitment. In fact, it's actually quite the opposite. It's fast, it's nimble, it's light, and you can implement it immediately. It's completely plug and play, literally. And here's why I built it, because so many of my clients are high performers who are strapped for time. They don't always have the right words to say. They don't have time to ruminate over a text message to get it right, to craft the perfect message. And they don't have time to plan out date nights. They need to focus their time and energy on their business. And so if this sounds like you, I built this tool for you. So like I said, if you struggle to find the time and energy to plan date nights, if you find yourself stuck not knowing what to say or how to respond to your wife over text, or maybe you find that the conversation feels a little flat or dull, this Spark Starter Kit is essentially your romance on autopilot for an entire year. Listen, here's what it is. It's 365 Spark text templates. These are text templates that you can copy and paste and personalize so you say the right thing every single time without overthinking. And there are pre-written texts for every situation, whether you want to flirt with her, trigger desire, express gratitude and appreciation, you want to encourage her, appreciate her, or if you need to repair and reconnect. There are text messages, 365 for all of these situations. There's 52 plug-and-play date night blueprints. One powerful date per week already planned for you, and they're planned in lots of different categories. So for when time is tight, for when you want to go all out, you got that big date energy going, or when you're both tired, you want a night in, or when you both need to reignite the spark. Pre-built for you. There's 100 Spark Starter questions. These are conversation prompts that rebuild emotional intimacy fast. This is a big struggle for men. And the last thing, which I love, is a 3-part romance reset mini course, which teaches you exactly how to rebuild connection, restore the polarity, and reignite desire in your relationship. And all of this costs less than a bouquet of flowers. That, let's be real, it's probably going to die within a week. Okay, I've designed this to be over the top with crazy deliverables. So if you're ready to take the pressure off and bring the spark back, okay, go check it out at sparkstarterkit.com. You don't have to wait till after the episode. You can hit the link in the show notes below right now, okay, and go get it. It's probably the cheapest it's ever going to be, but trust me, friend, this is the easiest way to start leading with intentionality and get that fire back in your relationship. So as someone, obviously, like you said, you've coached, top executives and athletes. What's the biggest mistake that you see high level guys, high achievers make in relationships? Like, what's the most common thing you see, and that really kind of takes them out of focus from being fully present husbands and fathers?
Yeah, they lie to themselves that they're doing what they're doing for the sake of their marriage or for the sake of their kids. And they're not. They will be happy when they get this stuff done for the sake of their kids, but they're not doing it in that manner or for the sake of their marriage. My life changed when, number one, I started looking for what I wanted in my marriage. And I found more of it. If you look for a B in your wife, you're going to get a B. If you look for a queen, you're going to get a queen. And so there's so many things today. Let me give you an example of how much control we have. I've been married 28 years to a woman that I met in the 4th grade and hated me because at 6th grade camp, my best friend asked her to go study, and she said no and embarrassed me, so I threw an egg at her. I married this girl when I was 29 years old. Didn't start dating till I was 26. So we didn't date when, 6th grade on till I was mature. But I went to the anniversary trip to Italy, and on the way home, my wife looks at me, and I had bought her a necklace, an expensive necklace, and surprised her in Italy. And she looked sick. I said, "What's the matter, sweetheart?" She said, I forgot the necklace in the bag. I think I left the necklace in the hotel room, and they probably just threw away the bag. Now, the old David would have gotten upset, looking for what I didn't want in the situation, not thinking for the sake of what did I buy the necklace and for the sake of who. And instead I did. And I looked at her and I said, "Oh, I'll just buy you another one." She said, "What?" I said, no. I'm sick over it. I said, it's okay. I wanted you to know how much I appreciate and acknowledge you. Whether you wear the necklace, have the necklace is irrelevant to me. But if you would like one because you want to wear it, I'll be happy to buy you another. And she started to cry. She said, "Thank you. Thank you for standing up for me, right? Not making this more difficult, calling me stupid, getting upset and saying, 'How dare you,' and making me feel worse." So we get home, she's unpacking, and lo and behold, she didn't forget the necklace. She put it in a different bag in the bag. And now, instead of ruining the vacation and still having the necklace, I added value to the vacation because I knew for the sake of what I was doing things. And I also knew to look for what I wanted in my spouse. These are key changes that can be made. The same thing is well, too. My number one video has 40 million views, and it's about my daughter, who was 17 at the time's car. Well, I wake up at 4 a.m. Her car wasn't outside, and I almost blew it when I found out she was actually home. And the reason she didn't take her car home was kids were drinking. And I told her, if ever anyone's drinking, you Uber everybody home and we'll get the car tomorrow. And I go through the whole, because I did the video right when it was happening. And emotionally, so many dads out there were like, "Dude, I can't, thank you so much." This is what it's about.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. And I think so much of what you're saying can resonate with these listeners. I know there's a lot of men are just taking a lot of away from this conversation. I want to talk a little bit about your mission, man, because your mission is to empower 1 billion people to be
don't
happy.
limit me. Over 1 billion.
I love it. Over 1 billion people to be happy. And that's huge. And I love it. I'm a big believer in big dreams as well. But if you could distill one message for the dads listening right now, for the men who want to lead at home, with strength and with love, with integrity, what would you say to them today?
3 words: ask for help. It's the biggest problem with men, especially dads. We forget that when we're able and capable of helping other people, we feel at our higher self. We are walking with God. When we are able and capable of being of service and value, my name, David, means beloved. My last name means servant. When we are beloved servants, we feel our best. Why are we denying other people the same feeling by
Mm-hmm.
not asking them for help when they're able and capable of helping us? Why not say yes when people offer their help to us? I see so many dads, so many husbands that are in a position to succeed, to live with passion, purpose, and even profitability. And they're getting not only in their own way by not receiving, but they are not illustrating their faith in God that there's more than enough of everything for everyone, and cheating other people of feeling capable and able of being of service and of value to others. And so if I can teach people three little words to help them, ask for help. If
Mm-hmm.
you ask for help, I promise you, people will help, and they will know people to help, and you'll be able to help, and you'll know people to help. My entire community of over 1 billion people is based off of that mission of a group of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other. And in business, what do people who want to help and know people help do? They buy from each other and sell for each other for life. You want to have a successful business? Have people buying from you and selling for you for life. It gets really easy. That's how my exponentiality of outcomes has occurred, because I've been kind
Mm-hmm.
to my future self, continually being of value and of service, doing good deeds, but also asking people to do them for me or for others. This is the secret sauce. Please, anyone listening, I pray, ask for help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We were talking about this on a call with one of my clients the other day, and he had mentioned, he had said, it takes a village to raise a child, and I was encouraging him. I said, you know what? It also takes a village to raise a father. Like,
Mm.
get surrounded by other men, like-minded men who can hold you to the things that you said you want, who can hold your hands high when you don't know how to stand on your own. All these different things, and I think you hit on a really key point, because us as men, there's this lone wolf mentality, and it's like there's almost this nobility, like, I'm gonna do this on my own. I'm gonna be self-made, and when I bring my head up, y'all will know. It's like, well, the lone wolf dies alone. Strong wolves build packs. I mean, that's huge, and so I couldn't agree more with you, David. Just in the last couple of moments, I know you got a book coming out, and it's on pre-order right now. Tell us a little bit more about it. I love the title. Don't do business with dicks. It's so
Yeah,
good.
no,
But could you give us a little summary?
yeah, so it aligns with what we were just talking about. We need help, and if we surround ourselves with the right people and the right ideas, but it's more than just you're the aggregate of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Let's take in particular being a dad. You want to have a dad team around you,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is a subject matter, a topic, an expertise that we're looking for, how to be a father. And not only do you want to find the right people and the right ideas, you want to extricate, fall away, fire the ones that don't, the ones that bleed you, the ones that interfere with your potential, that plant seeds under a tree that will die instead of grow. And so I highly encourage people with this book in a variety of different ways. And of course, I use finally in my 8th book, a clever title to attract people. When you've written books like, Compassionate Capitalism, Connected to Goodness, creating Unstoppable, Creating the Life You Love, you attract this certain type of people. But I want to attract the people that may not buy a book called Connected to Goodness or Compassionate Capitalism. I want to attract the guy that's going to buy a book saying, don't do business with dicks, and then teach them to play on the right team, know what position you play, surround yourself with positivity and energy and wisdom and faith so that you yourself know that position. See, I'm on a team for everything I do. I'm on a dad team. I'm on a AI team. I'm the water boy on my AI team, but I'm a captain on my dad team.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm in a position to help people get to where they want to be, but I'm always on a team where there's someone better than me teaching me how to be that dad, how to raise that dad. So mini villages would be my answer to what this book is about, how to build mini villages and be aware. Now, just to finish up, there's 3 criteria in the book. I want you to pre-order the book. It comes out Super Bowl, by the way. I'm running it in the entire season to pre-order Don't Do Business with Dicks. But here's the 3 things. Ask yourself, am I surrounded with the right relativity, with the people that give the right meaning to my life, because I'm allowed to give meaning to everything I see. And I want to make sure that the meaning I give is aligned with where I want to be or better my potential. Most people, they give a meaning to their past that limits their self-image. Notice I said over 1 billion people. I'm not letting anyone cast a shadow on my future. And if you don't understand, you will never overachieve your own self-image. And it's the meaning, the relativity of your past. 2, associations. We talked about what associations are we in with dads. This podcast is an association. And then finally, a real nuance of feeding and bleeding. Just because somebody bleeds you doesn't mean it's not feeding you. So be well aware. My mom passed away recently and it bled me pretty good, but it also was one of the greatest feedings in my life. Our children, you're lying if you tell me they always feed you. Well, they do because they bleed you so much. That's where learn to love what you don't like or love about what you love. I love my kids. I got 4 of them. But I've had to learn to love what I don't like and love about my kids, especially when you got 3 daughters who date idiots. I had to learn to love what I don't like or love about them.
Oh, I love it. This conversation has been so good, David. Last question. Where can our listeners find you, man?
Thank you so much for asking. I prefer people to email me directly. If you do, anyone that pre-orders my book, I will send a copy of Connected to Goodness. I'll pay for shipping. I'll pay for the book. I will send you one. So email me if you need anything else, david@dmeltzer.com. If you Google my name or ChatGPT my name, it's everywhere. LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. So at the very least, remember my name, David Meltzer. Please reach out. I will give 5-minute phone calls to anyone on earth. So I know people, I'm always happy to give them my cell phone if they email me. That's not a problem. David@dmeltzer.com.
Wow. I love that transparency, man. This has been great. So thank you for the time you shared with us today. It's been a powerful conversation. I'm going to put all the links to your book, to your email, all that stuff in the show notes below. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today, David.
Thank you. Remember, everyone, you're either humble or you're about to be. Live your life with wisdom and faith. I'm so blessed and graced to be here. Let's do it again. Come on my show. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you for tuning into the Dad Nation podcast today. Listen, if today's conversation challenged you, if it encouraged you or helped you level up in any area of your life, would you do me a favor? Take 60 seconds to rate and review the show on whatever platform you're listening on. This helps us reach more men who need to hear this message. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the Dad Nation YouTube channel, where you're going to find full episodes, clips, and exclusive content designed to help you win at home just like you do at work. Remember, your family does not need perfection. They need your presence. Your leadership matters. So keep showing up, keep leveling up, and never forget, when the dad gets better, the whole family wins. We'll see you next time.